I cannot wait to make this video, so here it is. Sit tight everyone, because this is going to be a long one. You ready? So, who exactly is Insomniac Studios? What significance do they have in the game industry? Have they made any popular games at all? Oh, I don't know, only Ratchet & Clank and Spyro the Dragon, Sunset Overdrive, and the Resistance series, just to name a few. And once I heard that they were getting a shot at making a true revival to the stagnant Spider-Man video game franchise, I began saving instantly for a PS4 Pro. Shout out to my cousin Patrick. From the very beginning, I knew this game would deliver all it had promised. A fresh, unique take on the classic quippy Peter Parker, and a brand new web-swinging engine, along with a thrilling, engaging, character-driven story. Everyone who knows me knows I adore this game, and why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't every PS4 owner? Marvel's Spider-Man, or Spider-Man PS4, is a work of art, brimming with details around every single corner, and delivering a living, breathing world to explore in open-world fashion. This game is literally the reason I bought a PS4 and, in turn, experienced an amazing series of games exclusive to the platform, games like Horizon Zero Dawn and Uncharted. So, let's get right into it. I've decided I'll save the story for last and jump right into the gameplay, starting with the movement system. In so many open-world games, characters can traverse the vast game world on foot or mount of some sort, be it horse or car or whatever else. Marvel's Spider-Man makes moving around the world extremely kinetic, engaging, big word, etc. What's more important is that it's fun. The way diving off the Empire State Building or zipping from streetlight to fire escape to lamppost is thrilling, and a unique experience that I've never seen before. Web swinging is so fun that it's frankly easy to power up the console, toss in the game, and just swing around the city, mastering new tricks, flying over New York traffic, and stopping crimes as they appear, and then continue on your merry way. It's a very basic reason to pop the game in and replay for a bit, rather than delving back into the story or completing challenges, and the beauty lies in its simplicity. So don your favorite suit with over 40 to choose from, run for the edge of the building, and get swinging. I can't tell you how enjoyable it is to just be in this world and zip around freely. It says a lot about the developers and their love for the world of Spider-Man and their devotion to the project. To make something as minuscule as movement from place to place so captivating is impressive, and Insomniac's actions speak very loud for their passion for the character. The graphics in short are gorgeous. The sunset casting shadows in Upper East Harlem, nighttime in Times Square, and forget the various times of day, just run up the Chrysler Building and take in the view of Manhattan from a bird's eye perspective. The spectacle of this game was a big hit for me personally. Oftentimes I would let Spider-Man perch wherever I left him and just take in the sights. Photorealistic may be a stretch, but the devs knew a true Spider-Man game deserves some stunning visuals. Props to draw distance in the way Spidey's red spandex sticks out amongst the streets of New York. Insomniac also made some original designs for a few suits appearing in the game, and boldly featuring the advanced suit as the main costume. The art designers took a look at the abilities and style of a 23-year-old superhero and built the features of the suit around practical use. The white is a tough carbon fiber used to guard against impacts, like gauntlets for punching, and the blue material in the lower half prioritizes stretching and having a high flexibility. Even the classic red boots were cut in favor of a stylistic athletic footwear. This twist on the classic Spider-Man suit truly makes this design Insomniac's own, along with the multitude of other designs. Dozens of past classic suits appear from Spider-Man's vast history. His comic roots, other universes, TV shows, are all here and shown off in grand fashion. Even recent film suits get some love too. To say these in-game suits pay homage to the many generations of Spidey fans is a huge understatement. So much time and sweat was put into creating these amazing-looking suits from every corner of the Marvel universe. As an open-world game, the basic missions and many objectives are present like any other of the genre. They won't blow you away, because they didn't for me, but the quantity of these short little tasks was enjoyable to me. It's so fun to be swinging around and discover a crime happening hundreds of feet below you, or landing on a random rooftop and finding out that the weird bird guy needs your help finding his pigeons. These objectives certainly aren't groundbreaking. Sometimes the fun lies in helping out the various citizens of New York and how quickly they come and go. To me, the pace never drops from web swinging to beating a mission and back to swinging. Involved in the mission completing comes a great combat system. Obviously, unless you haven't read the reviews on the game like I have, this is a part of the game most compared to the Batman Arkham series. The formula goes like this: attack various mooks, dodge on command, then continue attacking said mooks. Rinse and repeat until all mooks are incapacitated. I disagree with the general statement that the combat is a copy of the Batman games because webs. Knocking a guy on the ground allows you to run after him and punch his face in, or you can web him to the ground from a distance and continue with his buddies. Web swing kick into 3 guys at once, pull one into the air and web him up, then toss him onto the nearby storefront window. Spider-Man as a hero is extremely versatile in his methods of dealing with enemies, rather than just punching guys. With practice, you can pull off some really crazy combos. Seriously, experimenting with web gadgets and stealth opens up a whole new level of depth to the combat. Spider-Man can't take many hits, so jumping and swinging out of the way is heavily encouraged. Ramped up difficulty can make the fighting system fairly demanding of the player and knowledge of techniques, which only makes you better at the game. Control over Spidey is tight throughout. Full control is given generously to the player through the web swinging and combat. Climbing up walls is slow and cumbersome, and I personally prefer just running up them every time, mostly to keep the speed of the movement system going. It feels great to have a multitude of options over the wall crawler in every aspect of this game. Yuri Lowenthal voices Peter and very easily encapsulates him. You don't hear a voice actor behind the mask, you just hear Spider-Man. The voice acting never reaches a cringy or straight up bad point, it's really just perfect. Many of the lines and jokes that were written by the team at Insomniac were recorded twice by Lowenthal, one for normal, chilled out Peter Parker, and the other when Peter's exerting himself in the middle of a web swing. The absolute care and detail put into every aspect of the sound design is yet another point in favor of the dev team at Insomniac. This new Peter Parker is brought to life in many quips and one-liners he spouts in the middle of battle, and the humor is rather entertaining, never annoying or unnecessary. The story of Marvel Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man movie. Yeah, that's right, you heard me, movie. By far. The Raimi films are a close second for me, but the overall narrative of this video game is nothing short of complete. It's more than just a story of good and evil. It's a story of a classic Peter Parker being late all the time, trying to hold a job, tend to his important relationships regularly, along with suiting up and making a daily citywide appearance as New York City's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's what every great Spider-Man story must include, the struggle of being a part-time superhero and the toll it takes on Peter, but his persistence and internal responsibility to carry on. Peter in this brand new rendition of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's classic character is 23 years old, and has been Spider-Man for 8 years. The joy of seeing an experienced Peter take on old villains and various gangs throughout New York City is a huge breath of fresh air, as opposed to the young, inexperienced Peter Parker in the modern day in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Besides the struggle of Peter balancing his post-college life, the characters are brought to life through various relationships to him. Mary Jane is now Peter's ex, but they still have a good working friendship. You can feel the history these two people have with each other, and watching them try to figure out how to move forward and still be friends feels very real. Dr. Octavius and Peter work together on prosthetics technology in a lab, and the mentor-student relationship is driven by discovery. The rollercoaster ride of success and failure in their many inventions is a ride they both take together. The player can probably see from a mile away that Octavius will become the villain Dr. Octopus later in the story, which is true. But the writers turn this on its head and make you not want Doc to become a villain, as shown by your journey with Peter through the good and the bad. With each failure, both Peter and the player see the growing desperation of a deteriorating man with good intentions, slowly becoming obsessed with revenge and hatred. Perhaps this is something people can relate to in reality, minus the evil villain part. It really hit home for me in my personal experience. It's absolute genius that the relationship between these characters, these fictional characters, made me feel something, a feeling of sadness and maybe some slight despair. The link between Peter and Octavius is ever present throughout the game, through phone calls and cutscenes, making the relationship hit like a truck when things go south for Doc Ock. No character is as important as Peter and Otto in the game, and at the end, the similar yet different ideologies of the two supers take shape. This ending to the story is not triumphant, it's not out to shove in your face how great the game was and how it knows it. The ending is somber at best, and extremely sad at worst. Video games don't make me cry, they don't, so why do I every time I beat it? Why do I not want to see Otto succumb to his desperation? Why do I not want to see Aunt May on her deathbed? Why do I feel anything with this story? The characters. Not even character arcs or growth, just the characters. I just give a damn about these characters, and that is expressly through meaningful relationships, careful and thought out writing from comic experts, and real emotion shown all throughout. Peter's a relatable person, just trying his best not to disappoint his friends and family, along with his heroic responsibility. This is the best Spider-Man movie and my favorite Peter Parker ever created. More than the comics, more than the movies, hell, more than Tobey Maguire. Nothing beats Insomniac's Spider-Man. This game came out at a time in my life where all I wanted to be was home in New York. Granted, not New York City, but just a half hour north of it. I wasn't quite used to my new job and my new life here in Virginia last August 2018, and this game helped me feel like I was near home again. Seeing Croton Harmon as a train destination in Grand Central Station was familiar, and the Hudson River was always a welcome sight to see. Often I would go and just swing by my favorite place in Manhattan, Rockefeller Center. This game means so much more to me than just a way to pass the time on a Friday night. It's a true Spider-Man experience, made by people with a passion and a love for this character and his world. If you liked hearing my thoughts on Spider-Man PS4, check out my other videos, and as always, thanks for watching.
We understand what this character means to people in here. And we're making this game with a lot of heart, and we're going to do whatever it takes to give people the ultimate Spider-Man experience, the game that they've been waiting for.